When aliens discovered Earth was a prison planet. The vastness of space was silent, except for the hum of the starship Aurelia, gliding silently across the dark. Inside, the crew of the alien research vessel, Zy'Thar, observed countless planets, analyzing their life signs. Captain Lirion leaned over the holographic map. Scan for planets with intelligent life. We are near the Sol system, Lirion commanded, her voice calm yet commanding. The sensors beeped, focusing on one small, blue planet. The readings were unusual. Oxygen levels, water abundance, and surprisingly complex life forms, but the electromagnetic signals were chaotic, almost as if the planet's inhabitants were hiding something. Interesting, said Taryk, the ship's scientist. This planet's atmosphere is alive with radiation patterns I've never seen. And its history, it seems, contained. Contained? Asked Lirion. Taryk hesitated. The life forms appear to be evolving, but in a highly restricted way. Almost like they are confined to certain areas, prevented from spreading freely across the planet. Lirion frowned. Are you suggesting they are imprisoned? Taryk nodded slowly. All signs point to it. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. No species they had studied before had been deliberately confined by an unknown force. And yet, the signs were clear. Earth was not a free world. As the ship entered orbit, the planet looked peaceful from above. Oceans sparkled, forests stretched endlessly, and cities glimmered like tiny lights in the night. But beneath the surface, the readings were terrifying, vast, empty zones where life could exist but did not. And in the energy readings, Lirion could feel a strange tension, as if the planet itself were restrained. Deploy the drones, Lirion ordered. I want detailed scans of surface activity. Drones with advanced sensors descended through the atmosphere. The crew watched as they passed over bustling cities. Humans, as Taryk called them, were clever, inventive, and dangerous, but their progress seemed carefully limited. There were massive areas of wilderness, yes, but some regions were empty deserts for no natural reason. Look at this, Taryk said, pointing at the display. Energy barriers, faint but detectable. Something is controlling their expansion. Lirion's eyes narrowed. Barriers? Invisible forces keeping them in certain zones. Exactly, Taryk said. Whatever is keeping them in check is advanced, far beyond what this species could create themselves. The ship hovered silently, observing the humans below. Some were building cities, flying machines, and devices to communicate across long distances. Others were fighting each other with astonishing cruelty. It was clear, these creatures were dangerous, but only within certain limits. They are being guided, or imprisoned, Lirion murmured. Taryk hesitated before speaking. I think Earth is a containment facility. This species, humans, were placed here. Not to study, not to nurture, but to confine. The word hung in the air like a dark cloud. The crew stared at the planet, the realization settling over them. How could a species end up on a prison planet? Asked Sarah, the communications officer. No idea, said Lirion. But if it is a prison, it was carefully designed. And whoever built it is not here anymore. The idea chilled them all. They had traveled the stars, exploring thousands of worlds. But never before had they found a species that was deliberately confined. This was a unique and dangerous situation. Despite their caution, Lirion knew they needed answers. We must contact them, she said. Let them know we are observers. The ship activated the translator wave, sending a signal encoded in universal mathematics. It was a neutral message. We are visitors. We observe. We come in peace. On Earth, humans noticed strange lights in the sky. Satellites malfunctioned. Military systems scrambled to understand the anomaly. Across the world, people stared at the skies as a massive alien ship hovered silently above the atmosphere. Governments panicked, but the aliens did not attack. They only watched. Slowly, the humans attempted communication. And slowly, the aliens learned. Humans were not united. They were violent, suspicious, and cunning. They had already destroyed many of their own resources. And yet, they were also capable of incredible creativity, loyalty, and love. They are dangerous, Taryk warned, but they are also survivors. Lirion nodded. Exactly. That's why someone put them here. To contain them. To prevent them from spreading their destruction beyond this planet. The humans, in turn, were terrified. The alien presence was unlike anything they had imagined. But some began to speak, sending messages of peace. Scientists and leaders tried to negotiate, while conspiracy theorists panicked, calling it the end of the world. Lirion recorded every signal. "We must understand the containment system," she said. "If we do not, we cannot know if they are safe or a threat." As the days passed, the crew discovered more anomalies. Massive structures buried underground, emitting energy patterns too regular to be natural. Taryk analyzed them. "These are control nodes," he said. "They manage the berries, the zones, possibly even the behavior of the humans. It's subtle, but it's there. Whoever created this prison wanted to prevent humans from reaching a dangerous level of intelligence and expansion." "How long has this been in place?" Sarah asked. "Thousands, maybe millions of years," Taryk replied. "The evidence is scattered, but consistent. Some species, designed this entire planet to be a prison." Lirion frowned. "And the humans? Are they aware?" Taryk shook his head. "No, not fully. They have legends, myths, religions, stories of being watched, judged, or punished. But the truth has been buried. And whoever put them here is long gone." The crew felt uneasy. The ethical question weighed on them. These humans were dangerous, yes, but they were also alive, evolving, and capable of incredible growth. Did they have the right to observe, or intervene? The Aurelia hovered silently over the Pacific Ocean. Below, a small island showed faint energy readings, brighter than anything on the surface. Taryk adjusted the scanners. "Captain," he said, voice tense, "I've traced the source of the control nodes. They are massive, buried deep beneath the crust. Entire cities of machinery, invisible to humans. This is a containment network unlike anything we've seen." Lirion stared at the holographic map. How could a species build something like this without leaving traces? "They didn't," Taryk said. "Whatever built this, left long before humans appeared. Humans were placed here, later. This planet was designed first. And then, populated." Sarah frowned. "Populated with humans? So, we're not just observing a prison, we're observing prisoners." "Yes," Lirion said quietly. "Humans are prisoners. The question is, why?" The ship descended closer, scanning the island. Strange energy waves pulsed from beneath the ground. When the drones reached the surface, they detected something incredible. Ancient structures, buried beneath layers of soil, older than any known human civilization. "These are not natural formations," Taryk said, his voice almost a whisper. "They are clearly designed. And the energy readings, they are still active. Whoever built this, left a system running, controlling the entire planet." Lirion's eyes narrowed. "And the humans are still under their control, whether they know it or not." From orbit, the humans seemed busy with their own lives, working, fighting, building, and dying. But the sensors revealed invisible barriers, small electromagnetic fields that influenced their movements. Certain regions were off-limits, deserts where no one could survive. Other areas contained cities of humans under strict population control. Taryk pointed to the holographic display. "It's subtle. Humans think they are free. But every major advancement, every movement outside certain zones, has been slowed, redirected, or prevented. The prison system isn't just physical, it's psychological and biological." Sarah's voice trembled. "They are being manipulated on every level, and they don't even know it." Lirion nodded slowly. "We have to be careful. We cannot interfere yet. Our presence may trigger something catastrophic if the system senses an external threat." On the surface, a human named Dr. Elena Marquez, a scientist, was already noticing anomalies in energy patterns. She had discovered faint signals in the atmosphere, electromagnetic pulses that seemed to influence electronic devices. "Elena," her assistant said, "are you suggesting something is controlling us?" Elena stared at the readings, alarm growing. "I don't know, but whatever it is, it's powerful. Our technology, even our cities, are subtly manipulated. It's as if someone wants to keep us contained." Back on the Aurelia, Lirion observed Elena through the ship's long-range sensors. "This one," she said, "is important. She has started noticing the barriers. If she digs too deep, the system may react." Taryk frowned. "We have to decide, do we help her or remain observers?" Interference could destroy the prison's balance and risk human extinction.
Lirion leaned back in her chair.
We observe.
For now. But we record everything.
If humans begin to escape the system, we will need to act. Someone has to understand this planet's true nature before it's too late. Days later, the humans experienced strange global phenomena. Power grids fluctuated, animals fled their habitats, and communication satellites malfunctioned.
Panic spread.
Governments blamed natural disasters, while conspiracy theorists cried alien invasion. The Aurelia's crew noted the disturbances.
The system is reacting, Taryk said. It knows we are here. How? Lirion asked.
The control nodes, Taryk explained. They sense disruptions to the natural order. They are not just berries, they are sentient in a way. They can detect anomalies in human behavior, and now, they detect us.
Lirion clenched her hands.
Then our mere observation is a threat.
We must proceed with extreme caution.
If the humans trigger the system, it could wipe them out, or worse, mutate them.
Sarah shivered.
And all this, just to keep them in check. Yes, Lirion said, her eyes dark. This planet was never meant for freedom.
It was designed for containment.
And now, we are trespassing.
Taryk began decoding patterns in the energy nodes. What he found shocked him.
These symbols, they are warnings, he said.
Not in any human language.
Whoever built this prison left messages, instructions, even moral guidance for future observers. It says, any interference could awaken the planet's defense mechanisms. And those mechanisms are lethal.
Lirion frowned. Defense mechanisms?
Like automated weapons.
No, Taryk replied. Far worse.
The system can alter life itself. It can accelerate evolution, trigger mutations, or create deadly plagues. It's not just a prison, it's a self-sustaining containment ecosystem, designed to correct itself if anything threatens the balance.
Sarah gasped.
We could destroy them by just watching.
Exactly, Lirion said.
This is bigger than any ethical dilemma. The humans are trapped in a system they cannot understand, controlled by a force they cannot see, and we are intruders in their cage. The crew gathered in the observation room, watching the humans below. Cities buzzed with life, deserts remained empty, and strange energy patterns shimmered invisibly in the air. We cannot act yet, Lirion said firmly. Our first duty is to observe, document, and understand. If the humans are freed prematurely, the consequences could be catastrophic. We must learn why this prison was built before we make a decision.
Taryk nodded, but his eyes were troubled. The humans, they are clever, resourceful.
If they discover the truth themselves, they may try to escape.
And if that happens, Lirion's voice dropped.
Then we may have to intervene.
But for now, we record.
And we wait. The Aurelia drifted silently over the blue planet, the alien crew watching a species trapped in a cage they could not even see. Unseen beneath their feet, the prison nodes pulsed, aware of every heartbeat, every thought, every step. Earth was alive in a way no human could understand, and it was watching them back. The Aurelia continued to hover above the planet, its sensors scanning for disturbances. Every hour, Taryk's readings grew more complex. The energy nodes beneath the Earth weren't just controlling humans, they were reactive. Small anomalies in human behavior caused subtle shifts in energy patterns.
They are awakening, Taryk said quietly. These humans, they are starting to notice. And when that happens, the nodes adapt. They are preparing for resistance.
Lirion leaned over the display. Resistance? Do you mean the system could retaliate?
Taryk's eyes were dark.
Not just retaliate, reshape them.
Or destroy them.
The system doesn't negotiate.
It corrects. It enforces the rules of this prison planet. Sarah swallowed.
So even minor discoveries, like Dr. Elena noticing energy anomalies, could trigger catastrophic responses.
Yes, Lirion said. We are balancing on the edge of a blade. One wrong move, and the entire population could suffer. That's why we must stay hidden.
Observation only.
Dr. Elena Marquez had begun to piece together fragments of the truth.
After months of analyzing atmospheric anomalies, electromagnetic pulses, and strange desert regions, she realized something terrifying. The planet itself was controlling human life.
Her assistant, Javier, frowned at her notes.
You're saying, humans aren't free? That everything we've built, everything we've moved,
is dictated by some machine.
Elena shook her head.
Not a machine. Something far older, far more intelligent.
I think
Earth is alive in a way we cannot understand.
And it's keeping us in check. Almost like a prison. Javier laughed nervously.
That's insane.
A prison?
For humans? That's science fiction.
Maybe, Elena replied grimly. But the data doesn't lie.
There are patterns, invisible barriers, deserts that shouldn't exist, and zones humans can't cross. Something is controlling everything. Meanwhile, the Aurelia sensors monitored her progress.
Lirion spoke to Taryk quietly. She is dangerous.
If she uncovers too much, the nodes will react. We may not be able to predict what happens. Taryk nodded, but hesitation shadowed his face. And yet, she might be the key to understanding the prison. Observing her may give us answers faster than the nodes themselves.
But it's a gamble.
A very dangerous gamble. As Elena's research deepened, strange phenomena began to occur on Earth.
Power grids surged unpredictably.
Wildlife fled in patterns that mirrored human movements. Entire regions experienced sudden heat waves or unseasonal storms. The aliens observed silently as humans panicked. Governments tried to intervene, but the events defied explanation.
It was as if the planet itself were testing the boundaries.
This is it, Taryk said, voice tight.
The nodes are responding.
The system has detected her awareness. We may see the first active containment measures in centuries.
Lirion frowned.
Are they going to punish her?
It's possible, Taryk replied.
The system doesn't know mercy.
It corrects anomalies.
She is an anomaly. Elena, standing on a cliff overlooking a stormy ocean, felt the air vibrate with strange energy. Her instruments went haywire, displaying readings she could barely comprehend. It's reacting to me, she whispered. Her assistant, Javier, looked at her in alarm.
We need to stop.
This is too dangerous.
No, Elena said firmly. We are too close. We must understand the truth.
If we stop now, we'll never know why we're here. Back aboard the Aurelia, the crew debated their options.
We can't interfere directly, Sarah argued. If the system retaliates, it could wipe her out, or worse, destroy entire regions.
We need to back off.
Lirion shook her head. We can't. Not yet.
Observation is critical. If she uncovers the node's locations, we could learn the purpose of this prison, how it functions, and why humans are here.
Taryk sighed. And if she dies?
Or triggers the system to react globally. Then we record, Lirion said grimly.
The system was designed to handle this.
Humans were never meant to understand it. Our role is to witness, not intervene.
That is the rule.
But we will be ready if the situation escalates.
That night, strange lights appeared across the sky.
Massive waves of electromagnetic energy swept over populated regions, causing cities to black out and communication networks to fail.
Satellites spun out of orbit.
Storms erupted over deserts that had always been empty.
Humans screamed and panicked.
Governments issued emergency alerts, but nothing could explain the events.
Elena realized what was happening. It's the system.
The planet is responding to our awareness, she shouted.
Javier grabbed her arm. We need to leave. Now. No, she said, eyes wide. We can't run. We need to study it. We have to know what it wants.
What it is. In orbit, the aliens watched silently, every sensor recording the chaos. The energy nodes beneath the surface pulsed in a deadly rhythm. It's alive, Taryk whispered. Not conscious like we are, but aware. And it's judging the humans' actions.
Measuring them.
Adjusting the balance.
Lirion's jaw tightened. This is exactly what we feared. Humans were never meant to know this.
And now, she has triggered the first active response in centuries. The planet itself is beginning to enforce its rules. As storms raged and humans struggled to survive the strange phenomena, the crew of the Aurelia reflected on what they had discovered. This is beyond containment, Sarah said softly.
This is a test.
A prison built not just to restrict, but to judge. And the humans, they are being evaluated every moment of their lives.
Lirion stared at the blue planet below. We thought we were observers.
But perhaps we are witnesses to the awakening of a judgment system older than any civilization. And if humans continue to uncover the truth, we may see the system react in ways we cannot imagine.
The balance is fragile.
Too fragile. Taryk's voice was low. And if it reacts too strongly, nothing on this planet may survive. The Aurelia drifted silently in orbit, watching a species trapped in a cage far larger and far older than they could understand. Invisible forces controlled life, death, and progress. And somewhere below the surface, the prison system pulsed, alive, aware, and ready to strike. The storms had passed, leaving cities in darkness and communication networks crippled. But the humans did not understand the true cause. They blamed natural disasters, solar flares, or even each other. Dr. Elena Marquez, however, had no doubts. Standing in her makeshift laboratory, she observed the aftermath of the electromagnetic surge. Her instruments recorded energy readings from beneath the earth. "It's moving," she whispered. "The energy, it's responding to us. Every time we probe, every time we try to understand, it reacts." Javier, her assistant, shook his head. "We should leave it alone. We're poking something far bigger than us." Elena shook her head. "No. This is the only way to understand why humans are here. We have to keep going, no matter the risk." Beneath the crust, the control nodes pulsed violently. Their energy surged upward, targeting the regions where humans had attempted to measure or interfere with the anomalies. The planet system was now actively defending its containment parameters. Massive storms, localized earthquakes, and sudden electromagnetic discharges forced cities into chaos. Transportation ground to a halt. Power grids overloaded. The aliens watched in horror. Taryk's voice trembled. "It's targeting them, selectively. The nodes have identified anomalies, humans who are aware of the system. They are being punished, or corrected." Lirion clenched her fists. "This is what we feared. Observation alone is no longer neutral. The humans' actions are now directly interacting with the prison system." Sarah's voice shook. "If they keep discovering, it could escalate, globally. The system may wipe out entire regions, or worse. Millions could die." Elena's lab was suddenly hit by an intense energy pulse. Instruments exploded, wires sparking violently. The ground trembled beneath her feet. "Javier," she shouted. "Hold on." A flash of light threw them to the floor. When the tremors subsided, the lab was half destroyed, yet Elena's instruments still functioned. She looked at the readings. "It's trying to stop me," she said. "It doesn't want me to know. It's alive." Javier's face turned pale. "We have to get out of here. It's killing people." "No," Elena said firmly. "If we stop now, we'll never understand why we're here. We can't give up. The planet, the system, it wants us contained. That's the only explanation." The crew of the Aurelia gathered in the observation room. "It's escalating too fast," Sarah said. "We can't just watch. They are dying because they are curious." Lirion's voice was calm but heavy. "Intervention could destabilize the system completely. If we interfere, the nodes may perceive us as the primary threat. And if that happens, the planet may treat all life as the anomaly." Taryk ran his claws through his head, agitated. "We have to act. If Elena dies, she might be the key to understanding why this planet exists and why humans were placed here. If she dies now, the knowledge dies too." Lirion's eyes were dark. "Then we act subtly. Observation remains our priority. But we can guide, without the nodes detecting us. We cannot allow the prison to destroy itself, or its prisoners. Yet we cannot reveal ourselves. Not yet." The Aurelia initiated a covert maneuver. Using an advanced cloaking field and electromagnetic dampeners, the aliens adjusted the energy flows of the nodes just enough to prevent lethal escalation in Elena's immediate area. On the ground, the storm subsided slightly. Instruments stabilized. Elena looked around, puzzled. "I don't understand. Why did it stop?" Javier hesitated. "Maybe we're lucky." Elena didn't know that the invisible alien ship above had intervened to save her. She continued her experiments, unaware that her survival depended on beings she couldn't see. Taryk watched the readings, nervous. "This is dangerous. Even subtle interference risks detection. If the nodes sense us, they could retaliate with full force. And the humans below, they wouldn't survive." Lirion nodded. "Then we must tread carefully. Observation with minor guidance only. Nothing more. This is a balance we cannot afford to lose." Later, in the observation room, the crew debated their mission. Sarah spoke first. "We are essentially playing God. We are deciding who lives and who dies.
Isn't that wrong?
Lirion's voice was firm.
Wrong? Perhaps. But this is bigger than morality. Humans are trapped in a system designed to correct itself. If we interfere overtly, we risk everything. Observation, with minimal guidance, is the only ethical option that preserves life while gathering knowledge.
Taryk's voice was quiet, almost a whisper.
And what happens if they escape the containment system? If humans become aware enough to bypass it?
Lirion's eyes narrowed. Then we face the consequences.
But for now, we wait, we record, and we ensure survival.
That is our priority. Nothing else matters.
As night fell on Earth, Elena continued her research, unaware of the alien observers above. She recorded anomalies, mapped energy patterns, and pieced together fragments of the planet's hidden mechanisms. The nodes pulsed beneath the surface, quietly observing, judging, and waiting. The planet was alive, its intelligence vast and calculating.
The Aurelia drifted silently in orbit.
Its crew knew the fragile balance had been disturbed. The humans had begun to awaken.
The prison system had noticed.
And now, every step they took could trigger reactions beyond anyone's control. Lirion gazed at the planet, voice soft.
We are witnessing something extraordinary.
A species confined, judged, and monitored by a force older than any history. And now, they are beginning to see the truth.
How far will they go?
And how far can we allow them to go before the prison retaliates? The days following the initial disturbances were chaotic. Across Earth, people reported strange weather anomalies, sudden electrical failures, and mysterious tremors. Governments scrambled to respond, but no explanation satisfied the growing panic. Dr. Elena Marquez, however, was undeterred. Her obsession with understanding the invisible forces controlling the planet had only grown stronger.
We need to test it, she said to her assistant, Javier. We can't just observe patterns.
We have to interact with them.
Javier hesitated.
Interact?
How?
We barely understand what's happening. And last time, the ground nearly swallowed us. Elena's eyes burned with determination.
Exactly. That's why we have to push further. The anomalies are a system, a prison.
And if we understand it, we may finally know why humans are here. Elena set up an electromagnetic field generator on a remote plateau, designed to mimic the energy pulses detected from the nodes. As the device powered on, readings on her instruments spiked.
Look at this, she shouted.
The system, it's responding to our signals. Suddenly, the ground shook violently, knocking Elena and Javier to the ground. A massive storm erupted above them, winds tearing through the plateau, lightning striking dangerously close. Get it off! Javier screamed, struggling with the controls.
Elena held firm. No.
We need data. Far above, in orbit, the crew of the Aurelia watched in alarm.
Taryk's claws clenched.
She's pushing the system too far. It's about to respond aggressively.
Lirion's eyes narrowed. We intervene subtly.
Stabilize her region, but do not reveal ourselves. If the nodes detect us as intruders, the planet may treat all humans as anomalies. Using the ship's cloaked energy manipulators, the Aurelia subtly dampened the storm, redirecting the electromagnetic energy pulses. Slowly, the winds died down, and the lightning ceased. On the ground, Elena gasped.
The storm, it stopped.
How? Javier looked around, baffled. Was it, the system?
Elena frowned. I don't know.
But whatever it is, it's reacting to us, to our experiments.
We are learning.
And I think it's aware of our intentions. Above, Taryk let out a sigh. They are awakening the prison. Every action brings the system closer to full-scale enforcement. If they continue, millions could die.
Lirion's voice was firm.
Then we guide them carefully. Observation with minimal interference.
That is all we can do.
The balance is fragile, and if it breaks, nothing on this planet may survive. Despite the alien subtle interventions, the nodes began responding on a larger scale. Energy pulses targeted the plateau, reshaping terrain and destabilizing power grids across continents.
Cities fell into darkness. Forests caught fire spontaneously.
Oceans rose in violent tides.
Humans panicked worldwide.
Governments declared emergencies, scientists scrambled, and armies mobilized to counter the inexplicable events. Elena and Javier were caught in the epicenter of a surge. Instruments exploded,
and the ground quaked beneath them.
Rocks tumbled down the plateau.
It's alive! Elena shouted over the roar of the storm. It's punishing us for probing it. Javier screamed, pulling her to safety. We're going to die here. We have to stop. Elena's eyes burned with determination.
No. We are so close.
I can feel it. This is the moment the system is revealing its truth. The Aurelia's crew watched the chaos unfold with mounting horror.
Lirion, Sarah said, voice trembling.
If they continue, the nodes will destroy entire regions. Millions could die. We have to do something more direct.
Lirion shook her head. No.
Direct interference could provoke the system to retaliate globally.
We risk the entire planet. We guide, but we do not control. That is the rule.
Taryk growled, frustration evident.
They are too reckless.
If we don't act, everything the prison was designed to contain could be annihilated.
And we may be blamed for meddling. Lirion's eyes narrowed.
Then we act subtly, with surgical precision. Enough to save the humans, but not enough to reveal ourselves. Every choice is a risk. Every intervention could be the spark that destroys the world. Despite the near-death experiences, Elena continued her research. Using makeshift instruments, she began mapping the patterns of the node's energy.
It's like a heartbeat, she said, pointing at the readings.
A living system, with rules. And every time we break a rule, it reacts. But if we study the pattern, we can predict it. We can survive it, maybe even communicate with it.
Javier shook his head, exhausted.
Communicate?
You want to talk to it?
It's punishing us, Elena.
Elena smiled grimly. That's exactly why we must.
If we can learn its language, its rules, we can survive. And maybe we can understand why humans were placed here in the first place.
Far above,
the Aurelia monitored her progress. Lirion whispered to Taryk, she is dangerous and brilliant. If she succeeds, she may unlock the purpose of this prison. But if she fails, millions will die. Taryk's claws drummed nervously on the console. It's a gamble the humans don't even know they are taking.
And now, the prison knows we are watching.
We may no longer be neutral observers. The energy nodes below continued to pulse, reacting to every human experiment. Across the globe, chaos erupted in unpredictable patterns. Yet Elena persisted, driven by curiosity and obsession. The aliens realized the fragile balance they had been maintaining was unraveling. Intervention was necessary, but dangerous. Observation alone was no longer enough. Every subtle action risked revealing their presence, provoking the prison system to escalate uncontrollably. Lirion gazed at Earth, her expression grim.
We are no longer observers. We are part of this story.
And if the humans continue to awaken the system, we will soon face a choice. Save them, or risk the destruction of the planet. The Aurelia drifted silently in orbit, its crew watching a species trapped in a cage of living energy. Every heartbeat, every experiment, every step forward brought humanity closer to the full awakening of the prison, and closer to the brink of annihilation. The Earth groaned under the strain of the experiments. Massive storms raged over deserts that had once been lifeless, earthquakes split open remote valleys, and strange lights appeared over cities, visible signs that the planet itself was reacting intelligently. Dr. Elena Marquez, still driven by curiosity, adjusted her instruments. She had begun decoding subtle patterns in the energy pulses from the nodes.
It's like a language, she whispered to Javier. Each pulse is a message.
It's testing us. Measuring us. Javier's face went pale.
Testing? Elena, it's killing people. Cities are falling apart.
Elena's hands flew over her instruments. If we understand the rules, we can survive. And maybe we can finally know why humans were placed here. Deep beneath the crust, the control nodes pulsed in response. Unlike before, their reactions were no longer random or purely defensive, they were adaptive. They are learning, Taryk said aboard the Aurelia, voice tight with fear. Every human action, every probe, every attempt to interfere, the system is cataloging, analyzing, predicting.
It's becoming intelligent.
Not conscious like us, but aware enough to respond strategically.
Lirion's eyes narrowed. That changes everything. We are no longer simply observing a prison.
We are now witnessing the evolution of a containment system responding to its prisoners.
And humans, they are the stimulus.
Sarah shivered. If it can anticipate their moves, then every experiment, Every breakthrough could provoke catastrophic responses. We may not be able to save them. Elena had discovered that certain desert regions, previously thought uninhabitable, contained faint energy signals. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a glowing map. "These zones, they are nodes. The system is sending us messages through energy pulses. It's like it wants us to learn, but within strict boundaries." Javier frowned. "Boundaries? You mean, it's guiding us?" Elena nodded. "Exactly. We can't touch everything. We can't bypass the barriers. But if we stay within its rules, maybe it will let us survive. And maybe it will reveal its purpose." Far above, the Aurelia monitored the readings. Taryk whispered, "She's clever. Too clever. She may unlock something the system has been protecting for millennia. And if she does..." Lirion's expression darkened. "Then the prison will respond. The stakes are no longer theoretical. If humans break the rules of containment, billions could die." The nodes began reacting selectively. Regions where humans had attempted experiments were struck with violent phenomena. Cities experienced localized storms, earthquakes ripped through towns, and strange energy surges caused panic. On a plateau in Africa, Elena and her team faced a massive storm, stronger than any before. Instruments exploded, lightning struck dangerously close, and the ground shook violently. "It's punishing us," Javier shouted, trying to shield himself. Elena, eyes wide with determination, yelled back, "No, it's not punishment. It's a test. It's showing us the rules. We must learn, survive, and understand." Taryk watched the readings aboard the Aurelia. They are interpreting survival as progress. The system is now adaptive and intelligent. It's judging them. Every move Elena makes, it analyzes, responds, and recalibrates. The crew of the Aurelia faced a terrifying choice. The prison system's reactions were escalating. Observation alone could no longer prevent catastrophe. Yet overt intervention risked detection, which could trigger planet-wide annihilation. Sarah pleaded, "We have to do something. We've been guiding subtly, but now it's escalating too fast. If we don't act, she's going to die." Lirion shook her head. "We cannot save her directly. Not yet. Intervention must be surgical, subtle. Enough to prevent immediate death, but never enough to be detected. If the nodes detect us, the entire human race could be considered an anomaly. The stakes are planetary." Taryk muttered, "We are no longer just observers. We are part of the system now. Our choices affect the balance. One misstep, and billions die. And yet, if we do nothing, she dies, and the knowledge may die with her." Using their cloaking technology, the Aurelia subtly diverted energy pulses away from Elena's immediate area. The storm subsided just enough to prevent destruction, though the system's overall response continued elsewhere. On the ground, Elena felt the sudden calm. It stopped," she whispered. "But why? Did we survive because we obeyed the rules?" Javier, exhausted and scared, looked up. "Or maybe something else is helping us." Above, Taryk observed, "It's us. But we cannot reveal ourselves. If the nodes detect external interference, it could escalate globally. Every moment we guide, we risk planetary catastrophe." Lirion's voice was firm. "Then we maintain subtle guidance only. Observation remains priority. We cannot save everyone, but we can prevent immediate extinction." As Elena studied the patterns, she began deciphering something profound. The nodes were teaching her a rhythm, a code. Every storm, every pulse, every anomaly followed a pattern. "It's a language," she said, eyes shining. "The planet, it's communicating. Not just punishing us, but teaching us the rules. We can survive if we understand it, if we follow it carefully." The Aurelia watched silently, realizing humanity had taken the first steps toward understanding the prison, but also that the stakes had never been higher. Lirion whispered, "We are witnessing the awakening of both humans and the system. The prison is alive, intelligent, and adaptive. Humanity is beginning to see its rules. And soon, they may try to challenge them. The consequences, we cannot predict. But we are now inseparably part of this story." Dr. Elena Marquez stood on a high plateau overlooking a barren desert that had long been deemed uninhabitable. Instruments hummed around her, recording faint energy pulses that seemed to originate deep within the earth. "It's time," she whispered to Javier. We've learned its language, its rules. If we can align our signals, maybe we can communicate directly. Maybe we can ask why we exist here, why we are prisoners. Javier's eyes widened.
Elena, are you insane?
This could trigger another global catastrophe. The last experiment nearly destroyed half a city.
Elena shook her head. No. This is different. I think it's ready.
It's testing us, yes, but it's also listening. If we do this correctly, we can finally understand. Above, in orbit, the crew of the Aurelia monitored her movements with growing concern. Taryk muttered, "She's going to push the system too far. If she bypasses even a single rule, billions could die."
Lirion's jaw tightened.
We cannot stop her directly,
but we can guide her subtly. Every action must be surgical.
Every misstep risks planetary annihilation. We are no longer mere observers, we are participants. Elena powered up the field generator, sending carefully calibrated energy pulses into the desert. The instruments picked up patterns in the responses from the nodes beneath the crust. "It's responding," Elena breathed. "It's acknowledging our presence.
And it's adapting to our pulses.
It wants us to understand, not destroy." Suddenly, the ground trembled violently. Sand and rocks shot into the air. Lightning struck nearby mountains. The system was testing their intentions, challenging them to follow its rules exactly.
Javier yelled,
"Elena,
stop!
You'll die." Elena's eyes burned with determination.
"No. We have to continue.
If we fail, we won't learn anything. We have to survive this." Despite careful alignment, the nodes responded with a surge of energy across the region. Tornadoes ripped through the desert, electrical storms spread across the horizon, and the ground split with violent tremors. From orbit, the Aurelia recorded the chaos.
Taryk's voice trembled.
"The system is fully aware of our presence now.
It knows humans are attempting direct communication.
It's responding, intelligently, aggressively."
Lirion's eyes narrowed.
"Then we must intervene subtly. We cannot allow destruction, but we cannot reveal ourselves. If the system senses external interference, it may treat all humans as anomalies. The planet will enforce containment permanently." Using cloaked energy modulators, the Aurelia diverted some of the destructive energy away from human populations. Storms subsided just enough to prevent widespread death, though the planet's system continued its targeted testing. The crew gathered in the observation room, watching Elena's experiment unfold.
Sarah's voice trembled. "We can't just watch.
The system will destroy her if she makes a mistake." Lirion's expression was grim.
"We cannot intervene overtly.
If the nodes detect us, the system may retaliate globally. But we can guide subtly, enough to save her and maintain the balance.
We have one chance.
One chance to prevent planetary catastrophe while allowing humanity to learn the truth."
Taryk's claws clenched. "And if we fail?"
"If the system detects us, Earth could become a dead world. All life could be considered an anomaly."
Lirion's eyes hardened.
"Then we accept the risk. Humanity's survival and understanding depends on our precision. Every pulse, every intervention, must be perfect." Elena's field stabilized. The energy pulses from the nodes aligned with her signals. A pattern emerged, an unmistakable rhythm, like a heartbeat. "It's responding to us."
Elena gasped.
"It's showing me the rules, the boundaries, the reason we're here."
Javier stared in awe.
"You're communicating with the planet."
Elena nodded.
"Yes, but carefully. It's not just a machine. It's intelligent. It's alive. It's been judging humanity, controlling our growth, preventing destruction. And now, it's letting us understand." From orbit, Taryk recorded the readings in astonishment.
"The system is teaching them.
It's adaptive, intelligent, and judging behavior. Humanity may survive if they follow the rules exactly."
Lirion exhaled slowly.
"And now, we wait. Every choice from here on will determine whether humans remain contained, survive, or face annihilation." Elena traced the energy patterns across the planet, realizing the staggering truth. Earth was a prison not for punishment alone, but for containment and survival. Humans had been placed here to grow, to learn, but within limits. Every war, every disaster, every limitation had been imposed to prevent total self-destruction. "It's a test," she whispered. "And we are learning its rules."
Javier looked at her, wide-eyed.
But if we fail, we could destroy ourselves. Yes, Elena replied. But if we succeed, we may finally understand why we are here, why we were placed on this planet. And maybe, we can finally survive. The desert was quiet now, but tension hung in the air like a living thing. Dr. Elena Marquez stood at the center of her instruments, recording every subtle pulse of energy from the nodes beneath the earth. The storms had subsided, leaving behind a fragile calm.
"It's listening," she whispered.
"It's showing me the rules, the boundaries. Every pulse is a message, every reaction, a lesson. We can survive, if we follow the rhythm." Javier shook his head in disbelief.
"We're actually talking to the planet."
"The planet is alive, Elena."
Elena nodded.
"Not just alive, intelligent. It has been guiding us, testing us, containing us. And now, it trusts us enough to let us understand." High above, the Aurelia hovered silently, its cloaking system keeping it invisible to human senses. The alien crew watched every pulse, every subtle adjustment Elena made.
Taryk's voice trembled.
"They are learning faster than expected. If she succeeds, humanity may finally understand the true purpose of this prison."
Lirion's eyes narrowed.
"And if she fails, the system will react with full force.
We cannot intervene directly without risking planetary catastrophe.
Our role is guidance, subtle and precise. Humanity's fate rests on their choices, and on our restraint."
Sarah shivered.
"We are part of this story now. Every step they take, every discovery, we influence it. Yet they don't know we exist."
Lirion nodded. "Exactly.
And that is how it must remain. They must learn the rules themselves, or the lessons will be meaningless." As Elena aligned her signals perfectly with the energy nodes, a massive pulse radiated from beneath the crust. It was unlike anything she had seen, a rhythmic, almost musical pattern that spread across continents, calming storms, stabilizing tectonic activity, and balancing energy flows worldwide. "It's accepting us," Elena whispered, eyes wide with awe.
"It's acknowledging our understanding.
We can survive, we can grow, if we respect the rules." From orbit, Taryk stared at the readings. "It's the first time the system has responded positively to human initiative.
It's judging them, not punishing.
Humanity has passed its first test."
Lirion exhaled slowly. "And now, we wait for the next step."
Every civilization reaches a point like this, but few survive. They must learn to adapt, to respect the intelligence that guides them. Elena fell to her knees, overwhelmed by the truth she had uncovered. All the wars, the disasters, the limits placed on us, it wasn't punishment.
It was containment for survival.
We were never meant to destroy ourselves, not yet. This planet, it has been protecting us from ourselves. Javier looked at her, eyes wide with understanding. And the deserts, the storms, everything was designed to teach us boundaries.
Elena nodded slowly. "Yes. We are prisoners, but also students. The system is alive. It is intelligent.
And now, it has allowed us to understand. We have a choice: follow its rules, grow safely, or defy them and risk annihilation." The Aurelia's crew faced their most critical decision. The humans had survived the test and begun learning the rules, but any overt interference could still provoke catastrophe.
Sarah's voice trembled.
"They are ready.
They understand the rules now. Should we reveal ourselves?" Taryk shook his head. "No. That would disrupt the balance. They must learn the truth themselves."
"The prison's lessons cannot be handed to them. They must earn them."
Lirion's eyes softened as she gazed at the planet.
"Then we remain hidden. Our interventions will be subtle, invisible, only enough to prevent immediate catastrophe. The rest is theirs to face, to survive, and to understand." The planet's energy pulses continued, now harmonized with humanity's tentative understanding. Storms calmed, deserts remained harsh but stable, and humanity's progress slowly realigned with the rules of survival. Elena gazed at the horizon, awed and humbled. "We are alive, because we learned to listen. This planet, this prison, has taught us restraint, patience, and respect. If we continue, we may finally understand why we exist here, and maybe why we were placed here in the first place."
Javier smiled faintly.
"We're prisoners, but we're also students.
And somehow, that feels right."
Far above, the Aurelia drifted silently. the aliens watching a species navigating the delicate balance between freedom and survival. Lirion spoke softly, almost to herself. They have survived the awakening. The prison system has judged them, and for now, it has accepted them. But the lessons are ongoing. Every choice humanity makes will be part of its trial. And we will continue to observe. Carefully. Silently. Eternally. Earth spun quietly beneath the stars. The prison system continued its work, subtle, intelligent, and alive. Humanity had survived its first test, learning the rules of containment without fully understanding the force behind them. Above, the Aurelia drifted, hidden but ever watchful. The aliens had chosen restraint, ensuring survival without interference. Elena Marquez looked up at the night sky, unaware of the watchers above. We are here, we are alive, and now, perhaps, we can finally grow. The planet pulsed gently beneath her feet, alive, intelligent, and patient, an eternal prison, and an eternal teacher. And humanity had taken its first steps toward understanding and survival.